revved up crowd of voters cheering in New Hampshire for both candidates as voters are hitting the polls this morning. Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Pete Hegseth joins us live here in New Hampshire. And we have our marching band outside. Did they wake you up, Pete?
They didn't wake me up, but I thought about joining them. Great to see. It isn't a big event without the Fox and Friends
it's true.
marching band.
It's true. It's kind of become our tradition for voting days.
For sure.
Okay, primary today. Polls are open. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are just a spidey sense from watching all of it. We've been talking a lot about these undeclared voters, right, that can go either way. It doesn't mean there's not a lot of Republicans in New Hampshire who are undeclared voters. I think with DeSantis dropping out and Vivek dropping out, I think you see a really big night for Donald Trump tonight. I really do. I think you're looking at mid-50s, maybe even pushing up to 60. If that were to happen, I think the race ends in New Hampshire. That's why everyone should watch tonight, because of all the implications.
Yep.
But I don't see how Nikki Haley continues. If he has a big win tonight into South Carolina, where she's behind by 30 or 40 points in race and polls, the momentum will just continue. At that point, it's a general election.
Okay, immigration, it's a huge issue. It used to be, we always heard the economy, inflation, that's the #1 issue. It's still a big deal. You heard the lady in the diner saying, I'm a small business owner, I have to pay all these salaries, insurance. We know so many people that are in that boat that are in charge of so many people, and it's very stressful.
For sure.
Trying to save money for your retirement and your kids' college. We know it's stressful, but can you imagine owning a business and having to be in charge? That's a big concern. But immigration also is a big concern. And in New Hampshire, this is big because Lawrence in Iowa interviewed a bunch of people in these diners. They said immigration was their #1 issue. We're hearing that a lot in New Hampshire. If you look at the stats, Pete, in 2015, New Hampshire's drug overdose death rate was the second highest in the nation. Are you hearing that on the ground here?
For sure. China is poisoning our population, and especially in those forgotten towns, in those small towns, in those blue-collar towns, where mostly men, but men and women are facing really tough job prospects. So it goes back to even the economy, too, and as a result are turning to drugs, and maybe they don't even think they're taking fentanyl. Oftentimes they're laced, and it all gets traced back to the precursors in China and the southern border being wide open. And if you're looking at those two things, who are you looking at? You're looking at Donald Trump. This is not even an issue without Trump making it an issue inside the Republican Party in 2014, in 2015. The Republican Party before that was a country club, establishment, club for growth, Koch brothers, Chamber of Commerce, Republican Party that was talked a little bit about, comprehensive immigration reform. Trump said, close it. He even said recently, as soon as I lift my hand off the Bible as the 47th president, I'm going to seal the border. So I've heard Nikki Haley talk about securing the border. That's good. That's because Republicans have all moved in that direction. But the original gangster on securing the border is Trump, and he'll go at China on those precursors, too. So I think you see a lot of people still believing that he hears the cries of that middle class and wants to represent for it.
Isn't it crazy that now Democrats are realizing this is a big issue for America?
I wonder if they really realize. I mean, hearing Joe Biden say, "Oh yeah, it's not. The border is open, but it's been open for 10 years." That's a sham argument to ask for more ask for more money, to cut more razor wire, to let more illegals in. They're fast forwarding. They'll play some politics with it. But if your issue is immigration, you're coming to Donald Trump at this point.
All right, what do you have going on Fox Nation?
So join us on Fox Nation for the watch party. We did it in Iowa, inside an Iowa caucus, 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. First of all, make sure you watch the channel. We're not saying you shouldn't watch the channel. Watch all the amazing coverage on Fox News. But then have a second screen on your iPad or on your phone, and we're going to be at a watch party just down the road from here. I'll be there with Tom Bevan, Real Clear Politics. We're breaking down the polls. Ben Domenech will be there. We got Jimmy Failure. Brian Kilmeade's going to pop in for a little bit. We're there with the people, kind of like a diner feel.
Yeah.
As people are watching the returns come in, you can watch it with us on Fox Nation.
I actually did that during Iowa. We were watching on my phone, Fox Nation. So it was great to hear you during the commercial breaks on Fox. But then I was also watching Brett and Martha on the channel. So you can do both.
You can do both. It's a wired world.
Are you having fun here?
Good to see you. It's great. Yeah. It's great to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Always.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.